Carrasco from NMR, and I'm speaking with Lamarr Wilson,
Hey.
also known as the world's funniest tech reporter on YouTube.
Yes, the world's funniest.
All right.
No one is funnier with tech.
Duly noted.
Yes, okay. Because don't mess that up in the article. All right, I'm just letting you know.
All right.
All right.
So you just moved here from Chicago recently.
Yeah.
How are you adjusting to Hollywood life?
It's crazy. You know, I'm from a big city already, so coming here wasn't a huge deal in terms of, well, actually the traffic is worse here. Traffic is like Satan here. Yeah, it's definitely worse. But no, the life is good. There are a lot more YouTubers here, so I get to do a lot more things. You know, Chicago, I was lonely and crying and curled up in a ball all by myself, and I couldn't do anything. But now I get to pretend like I have a life. It's great.
And you're still shooting in your apartment?
Yeah.
As you've done for many years?
Yes, in my apartment. No fancy studios.
So what makes shooting in your apartment so special as opposed to just having being in a studio with all the wonderful equipment?
Yeah, I think it just makes it a lot more personal. I don't think people on YouTube, the audience, wants a show. They want, just to see how some dude lives and what he thinks about, in his own personal life. So that's what I try to bring that's why I shoot at an angle where they see my couch and my brand new chair and everything. So they kind of just say, hey, this is his home. He's talking about tech and entertainment, and it's fun.
And since you came here, you've also gotten some roles as a co-host for Shira Lazar's What's Trending.
Oh, I love Shira Lazar, yeah.
And Leo Laporte's Twit Network.
Yeah.
How do you manage to have all these gigs while still doing your show?
I don't sleep. That's it. There's no sleep involved. so with the co-hosting thing, she'll call me up and say, hey, can you co-host this week or can you co-host this day? And I try to be as open and as available as possible. I love What's Trending, and This Week in Tech and those Twit networks. I've kind of met Leo through other channels, and he loves having me on. So whenever I have some breaking YouTube news, I'll message him and say, hey, I'll be a good guy to be on the show. So I push myself on him to be on the show when I can.
Nice. Going back to your YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
Why has technology fascinated you so much to the point that you're making these videos for this audience?
Going back for years when I got my first job in tech, working at a Best Buy when they first opened Best Buy, which is showing my age slightly. I started working with them in '94 when they opened up a brand new, and I was just fascinated. The store was huge. Tech computers were just brand new, and I always wanted to be part of stuff that's new. So since then, and I ran my own computer business, I ran my own consulting business, and I did technology for the school system. I've always been a part of tech and mostly consumer tech, like helping people, showing them how to use things. So it's kind of translated really well over to YouTube, where I'm essentially doing the same thing. I'm helping them understand it in a way that is humorous, but that they understand it in an easier way.
Did you find your sense of humor while you were back in your days at Best Buy, or has it
Yeah, I had it there, but I was still a little timid there. But what really kind of opened me up was working in a school. Well, when you have 30, 40 kids in front of you, you have to be funny. I mean, my jokes were awful, but they laughed. I worked at elementary school. I've taught every grade from K to 8. I left there because I was kind of irritated with how the school system started turning to more political versus just helping kids. And a lot of the kids weren't getting technology, especially in the inner city. They weren't getting technology training properly because the teachers were scared to use it. So if they didn't want to use it, then the kids wouldn't know about it. And so these inner city kids are always behind. So I started my own company basically to try to reach as many schools as possible with teaching teachers. And I use humor with them. I try to relax them, say, hey, this is not a big deal. And they love the workshops that I did. So I kind of tested my humor, so to speak, with the kids and then with the adults, and then it's kind of merged to YouTube.
You've been a teacher for a few years. You
Yeah.
have an educational company.
Been there, done that.
What inspired you to get into the educational field?
It was kind of accidental. It was a funny story behind that because growing up, I always told my mom, I was the only child. I always told her I hated kids. Because I did. I literally, little kids, I could not stand them. just running around and snot nose and everything. Just could not stand it. Yes, and I said I'm never having them. I don't like little kids. And then all of a sudden I end up working at a school. And she calls me. She's like, "Didn't you?" I was like, "Leave me alone." It was an accident. I was working at an apartment. I mean, I lived in an apartment complex in Seattle, and they had a cabana area where I was young, so I was like 18, 19. I used to go there and just like shoot hoops or whatever. And I guess then I was interacting with the other teenagers or kids there. And one day the director came out and she said, "You're really good with the kids. Why don't you work here at the center, the apartment center, and then we'll deduct off your rent." And I was like, I'll do it for the rent. I'll do it for the rent deduction because I was like, whatever, I don't care about it. And yeah, I just kind of fell in love with this aspect of helping people. I've always been a customer service, and to me this was another form of customer service. It was helping some kids, and then I decided to kind of change my direction and go into education after that, and it's been great. Like I really loved it. Again, I would still be doing it if it hadn't just been for losing my interest because of the adults. The kids have never been a problem. It's always been the kids don't know. The adults are the idiots.
You ever feel that your videos are like educating people?
Yep. Yeah. Matter of fact, that was one of my main goals after I opened up that School Tech TV. It was really okay. I have this education background. How can I teach without making people know that I'm teaching? Because if they realize, now they realize we do an interview. But if they realize they're being taught at, they'll resist it. People on YouTube don't want to be taught at. So that's why I incorporated the humor, try to make it funny, and where they just don't realize that, hey, I just learned something today. So that's always been my thing. Almost every video I try to teach some lesson or some principle or something. I want them to get something out the video, or I failed.
Right. So let's imagine you go back to you teaching people. Let's say this time you're teaching a class about being on YouTube. What would be on your lesson plan?
Oh wow! I wasn't expecting that question. Why do you do that to me? I think the first thing is not so much how to get popular on YouTube, as how to deal with failure on YouTube. I think you need to get to the inner person first. You need find out why you're doing it. What's your purpose? What are you expecting out of it? And how to deal with bad people who are going to tear you down for putting out your content. I think because that was one of my mistakes. I didn't know how bad people could be. So I went in here, woo, this is going to be fun. And I'm like, oh my God, they're talking about me. And I was like, why are they tearing me down? I'm just trying to be nice and teach something. And yeah, it's bad. I'm still even now I'm still learning to deal with just the raw negativity of just some random guy sitting in his apartment just talking about a subject, and people literally hate you for your opinion. If I say I don't use an Android phone and I'm choosing to use an iPhone, I'm the worst person on earth to some people. And so I guess the class would mainly be about how to deal with that, how to deal with someone not liking your content and liking yourself first and liking what you do primarily. Because once you love what you do and you like that, then those comments don't mean anything. Which means I'm still working on absolutely loving what I do, and so I can block out all the negativity. So even at my level, it's a process.
And how do you handle those haters? Do you just ignore them completely? Do you respond with a wit?
I used to do the whole witty thing because I'm really good at shutting people down. So, here's the reason I stopped, because I realized something, and I did a flashback to when I was teaching, and I remember I had in fourth grade, I had a kid that was just bad. He just acted out all the time. And I used to keep giving him attention. He used to keep interrupting my class, and I'd be like, so-and-so, you need to stop. And then I realized, once I kept doing that, the good kids stopped getting my attention, so they turned bad, so they can get my attention. It's an interesting human psychology, how that works. They realized that to get my attention, they needed to act out. So what I started doing is I ignored him, and I'll focus on the people who are doing well. I was like, oh, Jenny, you're doing so well over there, or Jack, good job. Oh. And then what it made him do is like, oh crap, I'm not getting attention anymore. So he would sit up and do like this, and then I'm like, all right, good job, John, keep it up, and it worked every single time. So I try to apply that for YouTube. I largely try to ignore now, because if they know they're going to get my attention that way, they'll go out of their way to flatter me, even if they're lying. At least they're pretending like they're acting good. So I'm really learning. It's the psychology. I mean, I can take a whole course, or I can teach a whole course in psychology on YouTube. It's crazy. So yeah, I largely know. I mean, if they get too malicious, or if it's like racist or anything, which happens. If it just gets too out of hand, I'll just block and remove and forget about them. But it doesn't always. I try not to have it come to that, if I can.
Interesting. Tell me how you began your career on YouTube.
Oh my, it's weird. It was in 2008. It was like January 2008. I bought myself a camera, a nice HD. I spent about $1,200. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do video so I can enhance my business. The camera sat for 11 months in my in my little cabinet. I never used it, and then I went to a workshop from a well-known YouTuber, Chris Burlow, and he was doing a social media workshop, and that's when I started hearing more about this YouTube thing. And then one day I was watching Ustream. At 2008 he was normally on Ustream front page every day. That was his thing. But I saw these two guys. They were on there instead. These two young guys, and they were just talking about their YouTube channels and how they vlog. And I'm like, what's vlog? What is this thing that they do? And they were talking about it, and they were showing clips. So I subscribed, and then I went back to the Ustream. I was like, hey guys, guess what? I subscribed. What does this mean? I had no idea. And they're like, you'll get our videos. So I went through and watched like 20 of their videos each. And I just fell in love with the format. And I said, I have to do this. And so I ended up trying it. And slowly I ended up being friends with them. And it slowly just got a little bit more popular. I had no idea that I was going to do this. I was content with my business. This came out of nowhere. It was just an accident.
So what were your early videos like?
Yes, and I'm glad you asked that, because unfortunately I had closed my account 1 or 2 times, and so those videos are gone. They were just like everyday vlogs. It was just me sitting in a chair like this, talking to a camera just like this, and just talking about random things that came up, whether I was talking about a video game or something I heard in the news or things that were happening in my life. It was very similar to how I do now. It's just much more. It wasn't as professional, or just wasn't polished at all.
So you bill yourself as the world's funniest tech reporter.
Absolutely.
Yet you're not so focused on tech. You're like, you talk about pop culture. I mean, one of your most popular videos was you ripping photos of Justin Bieber. But you kept that Taylor Swift photo.
I did. I still have that magazine. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, it's weird. Obviously, I build myself at a certain thing, but I don't like to typecast or restrict myself into one thing just because, I do tech. I also talk about entertainment news too, and that kind of broadens my horizons where I'm just not stuck in one genre. And I think I don't want to say that's a mistake the other tech people make, but I think, when you're stuck in one place, there's no room to grow after a while. And I want to, constantly be funny and available to anybody who wants to watch me. So, yeah, throwing the Justin Bieber stuff in there is funny sometimes. But actually, no one wants to talk about him anymore. It's all One Direction now. Where you been?
I know.
Yeah.
But I was just looking through your most popular videos.
Yeah. It's all One Direction now, yeah.
And are you going to be ripping any One Direction?
I hope so. I hope to do it so.
So I will be sure that the next time, if there's a One Direction death rumor, I will be.
Thank you, because that's where I get my views. When we hear they're going to die, I'm there.
Harry Styles is off or something.
Oh, we can't have that. His hair is too perfect. He can't die.
No.
Yes.
Absolutely not. When you were starting your YouTube videos, did you ever expect to be working full-time job?
No. I had no perception. I didn't even know anything about partner program. I didn't know you could make money off of it. I just started it just for the love of wanting to learn how to do video. So I had no. But when I found out that I can take this seriously was the beginning of 2011. I was like, because my business was winding down, my contracts were ending, I was like, do I want to try to renew this, or do I want to get into this YouTube thing and take it seriously? So I gave myself about 8 months, and I said, if I can make this work by the end of 2011, then it's not meant to be. And by October 2011, I was comfortable enough that I was making enough where I can live on. I said, okay. I beat my own schedule, so that was really good.
And then you made the move to Los Angeles, and now you're with Big Frame.
I am.
How did you and Big Frame get together?
You know, it was weird because I was with another network prior to that didn't work out. And it was a few months. It just wasn't a good relationship. So I was really negative against networks. But most of my friends who are here in LA were with Big Frame, and they kept talking it up, how it's a family feel, how it's awesome. And I was friends with Mr. Guitar Man, who is the husband of the owner,
Yes.
Sarah. And so I asked him, I said, dude, what's your opinion on these networks? And he said, hey, I think you should at least talk to my wife and just see what we have to offer. He said, I think you'll be happy. Talked to her, and we worked some things out, and I met her at VidCon, and we talked some more, and I got a really good feel that it wasn't just a network trying to swoop me up and then forget about me. It was a network that wanted to grow my audience, which instead of just getting my CPM, getting my AdSense. So I was really happy about that, and I've been nothing but happy with them. They treated me so well, and it's been a blessing. I mean, I wouldn't be here without Big Frame in LA at all.
We'll be doing a lot of other projects with Big Frame besides your Monday to Friday.
Oh yeah, I mean, whether it's sponsored, videos or some brand deal things, or actually, Big Frame's the one to help me get introduced to Shira. I did the partner project where I was interviewed with her, and she liked the interview so much. She said, "Hey, why don't you do What's Trending with me?" So it's like, good things have been going through them. I'm working on a deal with I can't say the name of the magazine, but it's a pretty big magazine that wants me to do some correspondent work.
Oh, nice.
With them really soon. So that's been through Big Frame. So I'm trying to expand out of just sitting here doing the videos every day until, doing some other stuff off of YouTube. So I'm really excited about that.
Do you have any YouTube personalities you follow?
Yes, a follow, stalk, like what, I mean, I can get
Whatever
really eccentric. Okay.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want to interpret.
Yeah, no, I used to not say I have favorites, but I really, people ask so much that I finally have to say it. But yeah, Wheezy Waiter is my number one favorite. He's from Chicago. We were friends there, so we hung out sometimes. Daily Grace, who I just chatted with yesterday, is awesome. She's a Monday through Friday vlogger herself, and just the content she puts out every day is just crazy. I think she's more insane than I am. And so I think those two really stand out. When it comes to news, Phil DeFranco's it's awesome. He set the tone for how to do news on YouTube. So it's I have a few favorites that I send around. There's a lot of other people that I'm going to miss out on saying, but those are my premier people.
And what are your feelings about the YouTube community? Do you think it's a close-knit community, or is it just does everybody have diverse opinions?
Back in 08, 09, it was closer, but that's because YouTube was smaller. Mm-hmm. So it was you call it a community. I think now it's broken up into several communities. Some people might call them cliques, but that's just inevitable. YouTube is huge now. So does it have the same closeness as before? No, but I really believe that I have a good group of friends who support, and see through that group of friends I get to meet other people. It's different here in LA. People are definitely into themselves and their own things. I don't think it's intentional, like malicious. It's just everybody's really busy. So as much as I would love for them to work with me, I work with them and promote. I just have to be patient, and I haven't been patient since I've been here. And I've been told by people, be patient, stop rushing. So I'm slowing myself down and just trying to pace it out a little bit.
Have you ever thought about doing like stand-up comedy?
Man, I think stand-up is a different beast. Because in the camera, I am highly edited. Jump cuts. I think I can't do a jump cut on stage. I don't know. I do live shows on a service called YouNow and on YouTube. Yeah, and people like those live shows, but I don't know. It's just stand up. People are mean. Like the audience is like, it's like they're there to not like you. if I've seen other stand-ups, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. I've been asked if I want to do it. One day I'm gonna try it. One day I'm gonna try it and fail miserably and curl up in a ball, and you might not hear from me again.
Well, we don't want that to happen.
Yeah, so I don't know. I gotta build my confidence.
Alright. Have you been to any of these like comedy clubs out in LA?
Not yet, and I've been invited. Like I've met the guy who runs the Laugh Factory. He's like, yeah, come on down. You're YouTuber. We'll let you in free, and they have some kind of thing they do with Kevin Nealon where he meets with people, and he's like, yeah, he talks to YouTubers, and so I might go one day just to check it out.
In your many years on YouTube, what has been the most innovative gadget out there?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, the tablets kind of changed everything. Like there was always smartphones going up, and the iPhone was out and the Android phones, and I was a fan of all of that. But I think the tablet just surprised everybody because when it first came out, I laughed at it. I was like, no one's gonna use that. I have a laptop. The hell do I need a tablet for? And then I got one, and then the clouds parted, and I started to see, I see what this device does. It's an intermediary, and it really works. I can sit at the couch and use that. So I think this is the year. I mean, people were curious about them last year, but this is the year that people are really starting to get them because Google came out with their own iPad. iPad Mini came out, and so the tablet to me has been the biggest innovation in consumer tech.
So which tablet do you have right now?
I have the iPad Mini, and I had the iPad too. What happened is when it came out, I was like, who wants the? I was being cynical. I was like, who wants the Mini? Whatever. And I went in the Apple Store at the Grove, and I was like, I'm just gonna look at it, take a picture, and on Instagram and laugh at it. It's like, look at this little thing. So I put it in my hand and take the picture, and as soon as I put it in my hand, I was like, and I just paused. And then like 20 minutes later, I was walking out with one. I was like, wait, what? I just spent $600. What? I don't like what? I don't know what happened. But when I grabbed it, it's like, I opened up the reading app. I was like, yes, this is the form factor. This is the form factor that works. And I take it everywhere now. I didn't take my other iPad because it was a little bit too bulky. But I take it everywhere. I love it. It's my child. So don't harm it.
All right.
Okay. I see you looking at it. Just keep it over there.
Yeah, it is tempting. Isn't
All right.
It? All right.
All right. Warning you.
All right. All right. Thanks for stopping. Thanks for letting me interview you.
No problem. Thank you for coming here, and I've had a ball. This is great. You're great.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Lamarr Wilson. Thank you for checking out my interview at New Media Rockstars. You can visit me at youtube.com/Lamarr Wilson, twitter.com/Lamarr Wilson. It's Lamarr Wilson everywhere, even Google Plus if you use it, which you probably don't, but just in case you do.